Hi, friends. It's July the 25th, and subject here is depression. As if we haven't all expressed or felt it. Um, there's so much to cover that it's going to sound like I may be rambling. Did I ever share with you when I had my own company and I was so much in debt that the interest on the credit cards, 13 credit cards, up to the full limit and over, because it was over or I was late, I was paying just in interest alone $1,200. That's before I paid the first penny on the principal of the credit card. I'd come home, and guess what? The mailbox was full of attorney letters. The attorneys wanted to do bankruptcy for me. I didn't go bankrupt. You want to know what I did? I took money out of my life savings, which was mostly for my retirement. I paid off every bank. And then that was when we had the Great Recession, 2008 and 9. And I had cashed out the money right before the Great Recession, and then I borrowed money. From not people. I've been embarrassed to do that, but financial institutions that would give me money on margin. They were always brokerage firms, because banks wouldn't deal with me, so they were brokerage firms. And I would buy stock, and then as the stock went up, they would give me a margin account to where I could borrow more money as the stocks kept going up and up and up. And let me tell you, I was so sick in my stomach, I would sometimes sell. If the stocks went up, I would sell them so that I wouldn't lose it if they went down. And they keep going back up. Sometimes I'd buy the same stock 2 to 3 times in the same day during 2008 and 9. Now, I was totally bankrupt, but I never filed bankruptcy. Instead, I took all of my life savings and retirement, cashed it out, and paid off all the credit cards. Again, I was paying interest of $1,200 a month before I would even pay 1 penny of what I owed. So I'm sharing this to show you that the normal person, which I'm a normal person, I'm not a miracle man or anything. I thought to myself, if I could get a system. I learned this from John Templeton, who was a financial mutual fund manager many years ago. He bought everything that was $1 or less to start his mutual fund. And of course, he became a millionaire and possibly a multimillionaire before he died. I thought if it worked for him, it'll work for me. So as I borrowed money from the TD Waterhouse was the main brokerage firm I was dealing with, and they would, as I made more money, as the stocks went up, I could get more money to borrow. And I'll just put this real quick. By the time 2008 and 9 was over, I had made enough to pay off the house. I said, no one's going to take this house from me. I'm in this house right now. You can't tell that it's glorious or anything, but I'm in it. And I'm still investing every day in the stock market that I can get a good deal at. For example, yesterday I bought a mutual fund called QQQ. QQQ is the top 100 big companies in the nation. Most of them is in, I don't say technology. When I talk about technology, I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about YouTube, I'm talking about all these that you probably deal with. Can't even think of them now because I'm so tired. But I have regained everything I've lost and more. Was I depressed? Let me tell you about it. I was so depressed when my mailbox was full of letters from attorneys wanting to know if I wanted to file bankruptcy with them. But all sorts of choices came into my mind of what I should do. And none of them were particularly good, as you can imagine. Living on the street was probably the best choice that I could do. I didn't want to do myself in with a well, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't want to end life. So I took it day by day. And as I cashed in all my retirement and all my savings since age around 20, I felt like I was doing surgery on myself with a knife, cutting myself right through my chest and letting all the blood come out. 'Cause that's all I had. All I had was the money that I was going to pay off, that I was calling the banks, well, mutual fund companies is what they were, to pay off the banks. So mutual fund companies sent me the check. I'd turn it over to the bank. The bank would pay off the debt. One by one, week by week, month by month, and we paid it off. Now, you're asking, was I depressed? Well, when you see your whole life savings, your whole life retirement, and the possibility of living on the streets in front of you, how would you feel? All this is true. It's not a joke. And I can't explain it other than it was a God thing. Let me tell you why it's a God thing. I did not know in 2008 and 9 that there's going to be a great recession where stocks would crash down to $1 a share. Many stocks on the New York Stock Exchange fell to $1 a share. And here I am at the height of what the stock market was when I sold it. When I called the mutual fund companies and say, please liquidate and send me the check. That's very hard. I felt like I was just opening myself up and operating on myself, and I'd have no more money to live on. Now, I did that. I wasn't paying attention to the stock market at all. I didn't know if it was up, down, or all around until I got back balanced after I paid off every single one of those credit cards, which was approximately $150,000 that I owed. But that's not the bad thing. I was paying so much in interest before it even touched the principals. The principal being what amount I owed them. So I'm sitting there paying $1,200 in interest and not even paying a penny on what I owed on those credit cards because I was at 29.9%. And I call them every Monday to see if I could negotiate. Them lowering the interest, and they didn't. Chase was the worst. Chase Bank was the worst. They said after 6 months, if you make payments on time, we'll consider lowering it from 29.9% down to lower. The best one was AT&T. Not AT&T, but American Express had two of those, two cards, and they did lower it a little bit. I had AT&T too, but I can't remember it. I can't remember what they said, but it was always the same thing on Monday. I would tie my hand down to the phone and call all of the credit card companies and ask. I'd say I paid double last week what I needed to. Is there any way that you would lower my interest rates? And can't believe Chase saying 6 months we'll consider it. Okay, so you're talking about depression, and at this moment I can't tell you the numbness I felt, the inability to sleep, the thoughts all night of sleeping on the streets. There's just no way to explain when all your money is gone, so you don't have a bad credit. So that you don't have a bad credit account. Okay, you're saying, Jim, why didn't you go bankrupt? Okay, I had one. I had the largest counseling center in town that saw people with substances. And we're talking about everything from alcohol, drugs, hydrocodone, morphine, and crocodile. If you look up crocodile on YouTube, be sure to spell it with a K. You'll see how long you'll live if you're taking crocodile. 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years at the most. It eats up the flesh. So that's what I did for a living. I had other counseling centers sending people to me. Isn't that cute? Sending people to me that had no insurance, so they didn't want to see them, but they knew I'd see them for free if they weren't insured. I saw them for free. Well, let's see if we can bring this thing to a close and tell you how it ended. As the months went on from when the Great Recession started to when it went up, I was able to pay off the house that I was getting ready to lose. How's that sound for a turnaround? The money had grown so much in the brokerage account and kept growing 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 to where I had enough to pay off the credit card and to put most of the money back into my retirement. In fact, my retirement right now might be higher than it was then when I started cashing it out. Now, this is to encourage you. Let me tell you, I know what it feels like to have a knife stuck in your stomach and know there's no way out except street living. I know what that feels like. I didn't know I was going to share this until I started the video, but I think there may be one person or 2 or 3 people out there that need to hear this. That if you've lost everything, and if you're near homeless or if you're homeless, there is a way out. And it can be slow or it could be fast. It depends a lot on what resources are available. In my case, I had resources I had saved, but I had to cash out every penny. Every penny that I had in my life. Now, are you willing to cash out every penny that you've earned in your life? And maybe for food, cheese and crackers, those for $1. You get about 6 of them. You eat that for lunch. If you're lucky, you'll get some sardines if you have enough money. Sardines and crackers. They call me sardine breath. Oh, rather. Sometimes I could go behind became friends with a few pizza places and found out that some people ordered pizzas and didn't pick them up, and if I came in at a certain time, they were going to throw them away, so maybe they'd give them to me. That was a good deal. Give me free pizzas because the people didn't pick them up and they were going to throw them away. So that's my story for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it and want to subscribe to my subscribe, there's a button to push. If you like it, if you liked what you saw, you can push the button that says you liked it. I've got over 80 subscriptions now. People like me. Have a blessed day.